And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The final game of the day of Erangel. 2 more Miramars to follow. It's a fairly westerly playing path, which will cause a lot of problems for the likes of FaZe Clan, TSM, the Knights. Well, I'm going to guess NIP are going to go South George this time and not head all the way over to Lipovka.
Are out with a plane.
Oh, they're going Zaki.
No messing whatsoever.
This is the new Zaki, remember?
Yeah, we've seen them do this before where it's an alternate loop, so straight out and straight down, no messing whatsoever. Raise your edge, go to the usual place up in the north side of George, where NIP will be lingering down on the southern edge.
Fast Rail's looking, he's like, what?
Oh boy.
Who's this?
We may have neighbours.
We've got someone.
We may have noisy neighbours. It's, yeah, so that could be actually quite dangerous, and they obviously Raise Your Edge not having the best of events so far, and now you've got FaZe Clan knocking at your door. That could be problematic, so keep an eye on that one. Red Diamond's just hitting the ground any second and be able to take up position around the hospital side. Obviously, Winstrike Gaming moving throughout the fields of Gatka. The Jokers, they'll be kicking things off over by the ferry pier. Let's take a look at the more central area, obviously. Generally speaking, everyone should be in their usual spots. G2 and TSM, you might have an early scuffle. You also actually might have an early scuffle coming out of the Knights as well if you're looking for early vehicles. Yeah, and that's what I was just looking at. I was looking at Liquid, just how deep Jeems was going just to secure all vehicles around Pochinki. Really, yeah. Well, I mean, okay, they went Novo last time and it went far north, so at least they get them on this time. But okay, a Northern Circle. I like it. It's looking like it most likely will head to the northern side of the circle as well, because there is actually quite a chunk of water in this circle. You know for a fact that Na'Vi are just like throwing pens and paper and smacking desks again. Like, why is this happening to us every single time? And they just move all the way down onto Nova. I suppose it's always been kind of the running issue, though, right? If you take Sosnovka, you run the risk of circles being always against you, and your back always up against the wall. But, I mean, it's either that or at the end of the day you play off against Team Liquid every single time. And I must say, like, Team Liquid so far, I don't know what your opinion is, but we haven't really seen that PGI Team Liquid with Scoom been on there and the days of glory gone past. We didn't even see it at GLL, to be honest with you. Well, I mean, you got to look at it, right? Obviously, they had the big money move. Nobody really came out with an official figure of how much it was, but, you know, Gem Team moving from FaZe Clan to Team Liquid, that would not have been cheap. There's no doubt about it. You know, we don't talk about transfers too often, but that was a big one. Probably one of the biggest we've had in the game, I would say, so far. You know, joining up the brothers, Gemty and Samty. But like you say, I mean, if you look back to GLL, Season 3, it was awful. It was an awful performance. It was a terrible performance. A lot of cross-calling. But I've got to be honest, I am starting to see glimpses. We know they always have that snake ability in them. No matter whether they're down to one player, they're going to hit maybe top 5, top 6. Speaking of top 6, think of game 1 of today. The Mansion finished 4 alive. The only team with 4 alive in Phase 9, the final circle, and they come out 5th place. And they're absolutely kicking themselves because, you know, they effectively used too much utility against the Knights and put themselves in this position where they basically had to do a naked run against the M19. But and then they got stabbed in the back by the snake healing inside the blue compound. Yeah. Just literally coming out of the blue, and unfortunately it just kind of didn't pay out for them. And I suppose another thing. And you looked at, obviously, the last game, they were up in the warehouse. They tried to make this effective mad dash to a shack. And they just got absolutely ripped apart. Ibi was last man standing, no chance of getting in. So I think they ended up going about 13th, 14th. It was quite a low position for them. And, you know, we were looking at the points a moment ago. I didn't quite catch their exact position this game. They were definitely within 1 point of 10th, though, in the previous matchup, which is a very, very low position when you think, obviously, they are, or were, the most consistent team of 2018. Do you think it's fair we can say that you can probably write off the first 3 games to them as well, and the fact that you had Na'Vi knocking at the door every 2 seconds? Oh, yes, I mean, that obviously has played a big part tonight on... It wasn't was it just the first 3 games? Did they do any more? No, they didn't do any yesterday, right? Because coming into game 2, they basically went, nah, we're not doing this anymore. So it definitely played a role in that. Obviously, you know, if you look at for example, you look at the drops, how they did it today, like just in this game right now. They are on the move again. Well, we're probably close to the 4-minute mark. Yeah, 4:50. So they're actually a little late this time. But yeah, the 4-minute mark, they actually secured all vehicles around the edge of Pochinki. Obviously, they couldn't do that when Na'Vi were there. So
there has been changes, there has been adjustments, and I've just been talking to Luke, the manager of FaZe, outside as well, and he's obviously talking about the FaZe boys, you know, starting to get going, but still making small mistakes, like FaZe's push on that shack was really something he shouldn't do. He shouldn't do that solo. Uber was behind him, should have two-man pushed it. And Team Liquid are in a similar position, you know. They're a team that bring with them a massive reputation, so there is massive expectations to go with them. There are 4 superstar players on that team. So when you see they're not in a top 5 position, or top 4, because that's what we're looking for, right, towards the FACEIT Global, it stands out massively.
Yeah, so I suppose now they've got to come off the back foot and kind of rebuild that. As you say, we are starting to see signs of life coming out of the Team Liquid boys. Take a look at this map as a whole and see where people kind of stand, and we'll talk about the bigger picture here, where the potential choke points, where the potential crashes could be happening. Still got a fair amount of teams all the way down in the south. G2, TSM yet to make a move. The Knights, they've also got to do the same. The Joker's still lingering around Ferry Pier, Navi kicking it and still chilling over on Sosnovka Island. So quite a lot of manoeuvring still to do. Everybody banking that it is going to go north, obviously with how the water circles will be working, and you get to phase 4 and everything else moving away from water. Everyone's still kind of banking on heading up north. Phase have moved just more to the left, excuse me, more towards the right-hand side, taking just on the off angle of Severny and shooting range and hoping it kind of comes their way. One player turns up from M19. Unfortunately, 6 Mo's waiting with welcoming opening arms.
I tell you what, that's a team that has actually woken up today. Digital Athletics. They've had some good performances so far today. M19 themselves also stepping up down that bottom of the table. And that's, you know, while we're talking about these teams in the middle of the pack, if the bottom of the table teams start to step it up, the middle of the pack has to get worried, because suddenly they start shuffling down a little bit, you know, if they're not picking up the kills. Iro looking to try and get himself one. Obviously picked up the winner today. 6Mo confirms it. Enoch goes down, and M19 lose 2, and that's 2 points to DA already.
Which we have actually seen from Digital Athletics during qualification, and also during GLL, where when they were playing, it seemed like day 1 was a bit of a warm-up for them. They didn't really do too much. You know, the memes about Ira were still coming out and being thrown out and slandered about there, and all of a sudden they just wake up, stamp themselves on the ground, and then really, honestly, kind of show what they're made of.
And it's interesting, because I guess you could look at it, and GLL Season 3 was kind of their first LAN experience, right, of that team. It was a learning experience for them. They even said it when they were in ENCE, you know, we struggled, we got it together. But it was effectively a training ground to be here right now, because it gave them that experience, it gave them learning, and more importantly, they were a team that could look at it and take from it, take from that loss, not be down on yourselves, take from that loss and say, right, we've got to fix these mistakes. They went to Minsk and they absolutely belted it. And
one thing
that's something you can bring into a league.
It's the positivity that I get from that team, though. Even like yesterday, every single one, you go back there and they're with their camera crew, their film crew, their friends, whoever else has turned up with them, their coach. It's just laughs, smiles, hugs, banter, fun. Went out there for a coffee, raised your edge. Unfortunately, it's just there were nobody talking to each other.
That's a bad sign.
It is, and it's upsetting to see literally all 4 players just sat there looking, staring into oblivion. But yet on the opposing side, when you look towards these other teams and you're seeing all laughs and smiles and happiness, you've got to pull yourself out there sometimes. You've just got to look at what's going wrong, find the problem, fix it, move on, and get the job done. It looks like Michael is, as he takes down Udia. G2, a big name to claim if they can do more damage here. Rory, unfortunately, might fall victim to the DP. The disco plate does the job, knocks him, and he moves back. Grexico needs to confirm this kill. Grenade should solidify that point easily.
Oh, look at the bounce.
Bounce a bit
Where did
too
that go?
He's obviously been very aware in the fact that you've got Wookie, somebody who can snipe like a monster, is lingering around the area. Udia does finally get bleed out. Wookie, as I say his name, SKS from the back of Kent does the job.
Rory confirmed as well.
This is big. I wonder if G2 will make a push on this and any advancement. Well,
here comes the big man himself, driving up in a car. Chris comes around, and they are absolutely going to push on it. We should talk about the circle in a moment. That smooth shifted pretty much onto Georgia Pole, so it's causing a lot of chaotic rotations, people edging the bets on north or south, because it really is a 50-50 split on the Bay area of Georgia Pole. But the Knights, they're on the move. They're trying to blast around. This is going the northern side. So the Knights, Vitality, ENCE, CrowCrowd, all very close. And FaZe are still yet to make a move.
Michael taking point here. See if G2 are going to make any advancements on them. But they're not. They'll back off for now and just hold point. They've done the damage. They've had a trade-off from either side there. Both teams down to 3. They'll say, okay, well, we'll leave this one to everybody else. The circle has updated and Rozok's not in, so we've got to make a move on this one. G2 will go early, so they'll get ahead of the pack.
This is not the one we need to watch. This is where we need to be looking. With M19, obviously, yeah, Constantine is kind of the 2 players left for M19, but really it's all about the Knights, ENCE, Vitality, CrowCrowd. They're all kind of making this big shift close to each other at the moment. Yeah, looks like Set's got himself up. So CrowCrowd have kind of just pulled up just outside the circle area, realizing this is a bit risky. Vitality just saw the Dacias backing away down the hill there, so they're looking to make their move and get out of it as CrowCrowd try and light up Jazza in the back. He's going to have to pop some smoke down because he's taking fire. Looks like the Knights and ENCE have kind of separated themselves on the northern side of the circle. But this is an interesting one, Rich. You know, we're talking about coaches, decisions, teams, in-game leaders, all these small, minute details that pay dividends. You know, think of the last game, Winstrike and NIP driving parallel with each other. One goes north, one goes south, one wins, one goes 16th. You know, these things can make a big difference. Right now, the choice is, do you go north, George, or do you go south, George? And most teams are opting for north.
You'd have to assume north because the circle in theory should drag in. Obviously, it's moving away from water, so it should drag inlands, which will.
But not till phase 4.
Yeah, but you'd still assume that maybe the north, again, with the percentage when you're looking at that, in theory, should be the better choice, if not at least the middle area. Team Liquid doing the same. They're opting to go up to the top end. FaZe are lingering around that one and giving CC a bit of a kicking on the edge of the circle. They might actually meet up and match up against Vitality Knights. 3-way battle here in the north. We have to make sure we keep an eye because Liquid are also encroaching on this position. We might have 5 teams battering each other in a very small area any second.
I wonder if the developers, when making this, had Pac-Man in mind, because that's all I'm seeing on the map right now. It looks like a giant Pac-Man moving in. FaZe Clan coming around the hillside. Vox is going to have to back away from this one with Reels already down. He can't be another one to fall as FaZe go hunting for frags at the moment. They're trying to force him away. Reels looks like he's going to be confirmed. Team Liquid just over the brow of that hill as well, so they can't push too far as Samty confirms the frag on Voxic.
FaZe will be knowing that that kill has been stolen away from them. And that gives them the information that Liquid are here and they are here to play. I believe I saw a 249 in the hands of one of the players. So we got a big boy gun and level 3s are packing. They have to be aware of that thing. Reels will be left to bleed out in the mist. Drayden, obviously you can see all the way in the northern edge of the map. Last man standing there. Unfortunately for the Knights, ENCE, they'll spread across a really far open ground. They don't realize how happy they are sitting right now. Reels, he's down, he's gone. Navi, they are flying into the center, but they don't realize they're going to run straight into the open arms of M19.
Oh, they got away with it. There's only 2 members of M19 left alive, remember.
Baturin just
God, flipped. I think it was NIP that were doing damage on the back. Yeah, they're going to catch him out there. Recruit actually drove over him, hits the tree, hits the ground, and gets away with it. Some aerobatic action from Recruit there, but Recruit, I should say. And Sadovnik's going to join him, but it is just going to be the hillside for Na'Vi. That's all they can plumb for. Try and go for those ditches.
This is going to be so dangerous for FaZe, Liquid, and Vitality. This is... all 3 teams are just... they're up on the northern edge. They're literally all on the same embankment. FaZe are going to go for a reposition. Na'Vi will get themselves back together down here. You can see the Jokers on the...
yeah, this is a good move from Jokers. This is the wisest choice of the rotate.
Stay out of the fire.
Yeah, but it's a tricky place to get up. That's the problem.
We have to go north. FaZe and Liquid are about to crash into one another, and we've got Vitality also lingering this, and maybe even NIP, I can see, and G2 in the background. Whether they get involved in this, I do not know, but we have so many powerhouses all fighting for this one tiny bit of territory.
They're all teams that are looking hungry for points right now. A lot of invites up the top here. Fuzzface gets the knock onto Monkey, but you can see the Tracers whizzing past his face. Immediately Uber tries to get that SKS roaring onto Jazza. Jazza himself has been absolutely phenomenal in these opening 3 days, but then you see the Samty tap from the side, catching on the side of him. The big Finn getting involved as Uber tries to dodge, duck, and weave his way up the hill and get behind a tree. And now G2 are getting involved.
Just about to say, you shoot one team, you have to be aware of another. I mean, look at Shadow. You've got G2 to one side. Jeems comes in with a 249 onto ENCE. Spots him, confirms him. Job done. FaZe, they can't go any further. They'll be held back in the blue, unfortunately. Mexi's still up. He's got another team in the form of Fuzzface as well. Maybe Vitality confirm this. But once Vitality do this, they have to take another fight, which will be both G2 and Liquid as well. At the moment, this could be Liquid are just going to pick up so many points here. There's 3 teams for them to pretty much go on to.
I think FaZe have lost 2. Yeah, they have so far. By the way, Digital Athletics, while that was happening, you could see them in the pit there. They tried to blast it through, but Winstrike absolutely ripped them apart. Raise Your Edge, of course, do start in North Georgia, but haven't had to move yet. They're just still holding that line. But back in the Northern Hills, it is disastrous for FaZe Clan. G2 getting involved. Brexico down in the blue. Jazz is on absolutely nothing. There's Tracer fire onto Mexi. Mexi, where's he going? He's going straight through Vitality. That is not going to work, and I think FaZe Clan are going to go down in a hail of bullets here. They're done. 16th place for FaZe.
That's the second 16th placement they've got to there. That's absolutely devastating for FaZe Clan. Oh, they're going to have to pick themselves up. Off the back of a win yesterday, they started getting going, but things haven't been going too well today. Jeems still letting rip with that 249 aiming downhill. G2 also, once they get past that team, they can fall back onto them. So Jazza will be confirmed.
TSM just blasted it over the west bridge of Georgia Pulse, straight in.
Oh, no,
they did get a knock instantly. They came straight in behind the Knights, blasted straight in towards there, so they've took a knock instantly. Now Winstrike on the move as well. They're coming around the edge, then back up in the north. Vitality and Team Liquid continue to fight as Nasus and Monkey get down by 2 different teams. They're wedged between G2 and Team Liquid.
We got fights all the way across the map on different angles. Jeems still sitting pretty with his 249 and just...
They're done.
I mean, he hasn't got that many kills, but he's done so much damage and been such an anchor point. Everyone's just been facing towards him. Now it comes down to NIP stabbing G2 in the back. Liquid could probably reposition off this and actually use all this time to their advantage and go and get a better power position, because the circle, all right, while they're still inside it and they're kind of sitting pretty on the northern edge of the map, they do have to come inland.
It's been a strong start from Vitality, but going down in 15th place, I mean, this is incredible, right? This is 3 invited teams out already. It has been a brutal northern swing for this circle. FaZe Clan 16th, Vitality 15th, and the Knights down in 14th. Well, now G2 looking like they may be next one to follow, as Kane, the last man standing, just lying prone and hoping. While this has been happening, ENCE, they're sitting pretty. Look at this, out in the fields. They've got themselves a little vehicle set up with the UAZs. They've got the ditch. It's looking good for that circle movement. Also, looking towards the hill, we shouldn't forget Na'Vi's position. They went for that ditch very early on. They avoided a lot of the damage that was coming in. And right now, that is a very strong position with the, 5, 6 teams on the edge of North Georgia Pole right now.
Slow and steady wins the race. A couple of these teams that really aren't showing their hand right now. ENCE being one of them up in the field. The Joker.
It's a 2-2 as well, because they're just on the west side. If they can clear the Jokers out here,
they can hold so many teams. They're holding back TSM just by being there. Their presence holds back the Jokers, holds back TSM.
Oh, and Wookie gets him. D-Mash down. Now, okay, Tap's going to have to get around there. He's going to have to smoke it out. ENCE almost certainly going to try and want to follow on that. It's a tricky push across the road, though. They do have that 2-2, so they're fine. Team Liquid, though, you know, we talked about them. We gave them a bit of an unfair criticism or fair criticism, whichever way to call it. They now hold, because of that fight they had with FaZe, because of that fight they had with Vitality, they now hold the entire northern edge of the circle.
I think it's always fair to discuss, because we know truly how much ability that roster has and what it can do. Once it warms up and once it gets into a position where it can be, it's going to be a challenger for the top 4 spots at the end of the day. These boys want to be going to London. It's a pro league, and that's what you're playing for. After this, there's a major. G2, another big name going down and looking for some 13th in game 13. That's not the G2 that we've been seeing for the last 2 days, Lee.
This is not the push I expected. Truthfully, who is now solo because the other members have gone north, has almost taken down the Jokers on his own. Will get caught in the back by Kemba, though, so Kemba managing to finish him off. Kemba and Senya still there, but the other 3 members of ENCE are very much safe up in the hills. You can see them there in that ditch. They have themselves a beautiful position. So they're holding the western side of the circle. The north is Team Liquid, and everybody else has got to fight for the scraps down the south.
Dream for you. Just to update on CrowCrowd, they're smack bang centre of this circle. The Lone Ranger in the Lone Compound. Up at the north, you've got Team Liquid, 4 players up. NIP, still 4 players up. Another scalp will fall. Digital Athletics, 12th position for them. Pin picks him up, another 1 point for him.
So let's talk about this. What is going to play out here on your screens? Who is going to blink first? TSM, you just saw Gustav trying to make a move. Red Diamonds have to get out of these apartments. Raise Your Edge are trying to get to the hills first, but that's not always the best position because you're going to get shot in the back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue because of the fact that there's apartment blocks there. If you want to try and take that hill and get ahead of the game, you have to be aware that people will be able to have an eye line on you. Gustav is the first to try and make something happen. A doozy sees him and it instantly flushes him out. Wookie Bookie, second person to fall. TSM, 11th position for them. That now allows the Red Diamonds maybe to pressure that hillside, get inside the circle. Na'Vi, they wander in, they take central position, remove CrowCrowd from that building, and now they dominate the center of the map.
Red Diamond holding that hillside, lighting up the Jokers, trying to get in position, but they've managed to get out of that defilade position. And as you mentioned, Na'Vi, they're in a strong spot right now, but there is only 2 standing for them.
How many times would you push a compound like that in the center?
With just 2.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a ballsy player that's played off. Just, I mean, they're lucky that 4 members of CrowCrowd are sat in there, and thankfully there's only 1, but hey, a push like that almost can sometimes guarantee you death. It's paid off, and now they're on the center.
NIP are going looking for kills here. Look at this. It's working out for them. They've found M19, Gaxi, Miraku. This is the NIP we're used to seeing. This is the aggression plays. 4 of them alive, push for the fight. Winstrike trying to push into the circle. NIP saying, no, we occupy the territory, and they're pushing straight down. We're following Miraku here as the front man at the moment. Red Diamond's doing a similar job onto Raise Your Edge. This is 2 4-man battles, 4-man teams clashing on the hills.
Fast Rail does have an off angle on them, though, so he might be able to make something happen. That grenades are coming down. It might be a light shot any second. They're trying to get them uphill, but there's such a big drop off.
Well, that's a great nade!
Oh! It bounced off the side! It literally just angles onto them. 90 degrees, and a second one, he's trying to get more. But the damage has already been done. What a bloody grenade!
Fast Rail with the absolute pocket nade coming out there. We saw some fantastic stuff from Tixu in the last game. Or Tixu, I've got to say, to get it correct there. Fast Rail has to duck down, though. Down to 6 hit points, doesn't matter. Wanted comes in, and the Red Diamonds go down. And that gives Raise Your Edge the southern edge of the circle. NIP and Winstrike, meanwhile, sitting on top of one another. Comes over the brow of the hill. Gaxi gets down. MBS on nothing, but the nade does come over, and Jorski will get knocked.
Team E backs up from this one. He's only got 1 partner in crime. Try and take down the remaining members of NIP, but they're down to 2 as well. Need to find Miraku's POV. There it is, straight down the barrel. Turns around on a pinhead. And now we're into the 1 versus 1, but the bullets are coming in thick and fast. Cup of Magic now. Raise Your Edge starting to heat up and really show themselves here in game 13.
They need to have a big game here, and this could be the one for them. If they can clear out this southern side. You know, ENCE have got a really tricky spot because they're out in the fields. Team Liquid, by the way, is sitting very, very strong right now with the 4 alive in that northern side of the circle. They are completely unhindered.
Going for it. They want to finish off NIP, take their position, and then they might be able to work their way back into the circle because there is a compound for them, which might be a good angle that they can get to.
ENCE on the move, but it's Raise Your Edge. We should be seeing they're going to get around here. The nades come through. Oh, the backs of NIP. They've got them both up. Miraku and Vard with absolutely nothing left. But you've got to be careful. You can't push into this one blindly, Raise Your Edge. They must realize they're back. They're on their feet. And now it's going to be a tricky push.
Fast Rail's doing exactly what he did before, and he's taking the off angle. He goes downhill. If he can get any sign of life here for NIP, all the ninjas have hit the deck, hit the dirt, but they're back to full health. Just a little bit of a slow kind of run to this hill might not pay off in the way that they wanted. I mean,
yeah, they're a little too slow. A little too slow to get in there.
They'll be damaged, but the stims are already on late.
They have to spread. Wanted's found out and flushed out. Gaxi gets caught out by Cup of Magic, though, as he tries to push up. Vard gets around the side. Znark with a beautiful angle. He should be able to catch them both down. Vard goes down, and Znark, it almost works out for him. Fast Rail gets in and tries to confirm it. 2 down for Raise Your Edge. They can get Znark back on his feet. MBS, meanwhile, out. Look at Vard. He's got absolutely nothing left. Everybody wants to revive, but he's like, I can't heal myself.
His teammate crawls in front of him, gives him cover, gives him information. Once he gets him back up, he needs to go after Cup of Magic.
That nade could go in. Did he cook it? No, he didn't. He tossed it too much.
They're all back up again. Miraku does bleed out, and again, the more knocks you get, the faster you will bleed.
They've allowed NIP with just 1 surviving to get up. But look at this. Team Liquid have pushed all the way around. Samty and Jeems looking to get involved in this big fight. If they can flush out and maybe collect as many points as they can, this could be a massive round for Team Liquid.
Oh my word, Jeems has got that 249. If he sees all 3 members of NIP in there, he might just be able to obliterate them, which he is. He's going straight onto him.
Jempty gets Senua as well in the field, so Jokers get picked off. Ibi gets him, Jempty gets involved, he gets the knock in the back, and this has just gone entirely wrong for Raise Your Edge. They collect themselves the kills, 9 kills, massive points for them. NIP go down in 5th place. But it's Team Liquid that are on the hunt.
Jeems is playing cleanup crew. Unfortunately for Raise Your Edge, I mean, the good thing and the bad thing. The good thing is they're still alive and still kicking. The bad thing is they could have had a lot more kills than they had there if they'd have pushed onto NIP when it mattered most. Instead, they've got themselves back up, but they're going to be damaged. They're not out of this one yet, but when they come around the corner, if they face Jeems, those level 3s and that big boy machine gun, they're going to be in so much trouble.
Yeah, Jeems up close. I don't think they realise that he's got it. Smoke comes in, tosses that nade, tosses the second, tries to peek a little too much. Fast Rail looking for the head, but Snark downed again, and he's bleeding so fast. Look at that, Snark. There's absolutely no chance. They've been down so many times, and going back up, it's just causing them problems. Jeems gets himself another. As he confirms that kill, the smoke will help him back away. While this is happening, Navi are just still sitting in their house looking for position placement. That's all they want right now. And ENCE are trying to take advantage. They've swept all the way around the northern edge of the circle. Team Liquid are kind of let them go here. Jeems does get down. Team Liquid have got to be careful they don't get stabbed in the back.
Samty's sitting on the back foot, though, which will stop any advancement from downhill. There's only one way they can really hit them, and that's right in front of them. Smack bang square, Cup of Magic, last man standing here. Can you get double-digit figures in kills? Yeah, I suppose while all this is going on, ENCE are just going to be like scalping the top and wondering where these people...
They're still pushing. They're sweeping around. They're sweeping around. Okay, they've dealt with Raise Your Edge. Now they've got to turn fast, and Jempty will spot them right now. See them coming. There we go. Just in time, they confirm the kills on Raise Your Edge to turn around and realize they're getting backstabbed.
That's a huge amount of damage from Rustam there. Initial knock comes through, then he puts enough damage onto the second person to force them back, gives them a bit of breathing room from now. Multiple grenades will come flying.
Jempty's sneaking.
Oh, this is aggressive. This is slow, methodical.
The crouch walk as he creeps on around. Jeems finished off. Did he just see the jumps there? I don't know. He's right on the blue. He saw him.
They must have
he
seen
saw
some
him. Absolutely saw him. Rustamar tries to get out, belts down, hits the dirt, and tries to spray the exact spot. Jempty will back away from this one. Team Liquid still with 3 alive with Jeems down.
Jempty still holding point, allows the rest of his teammates to gather their thoughts and gather their resources, only does much help as possible. Samty, if you can hit the world now, my son, your teammates needed. One headshot will kind of open a door and do the job, but Ibi and Jempty, they do pull back, and I like that. Use the cover. Ibi's inside the circle. Samty will keep an eye on this compound behind them because he knows that Navi might not know they're in there, but it certainly is hyper aware that a team would be lingering at this point. Well, ENCE, the circle hasn't gone their way, but again, you still got this whole hillside to play with, so they'll be able to comfortably find a decent position and get a foothold.
Sadovnik's moving out. He's looking to try and center up as much as he can. So they finally come out of the compound, Sadovnik and Recurrent, looking for something. The Harry Potter is just outside the zone there. Rustamar basically the man that's teetering on the edge of the next circle, but ENCE realizing that hill battle probably not going to go in their favor, so they're kind of looking for a better angle, and Rustamar may well have found it on Samty there as he tries to peek with Kar 98.
Probably have a quiet moment for now, just while players adjust and get the information. Sadovnik still just out in the open on his own. Navi have gone for a 1-1 split. Obviously both of them don't want to go down back-to-back and try and play for position. Squeaky keeping an eye on this Harry Potter, see if a wild wizard wants to come wandering out of the blue. There's going to be no one in there at this point, thankfully for them. Sadovnik, though, still playing proactive. I like this.
Yeah,
it's a decent place as well, to be honest.
Yeah, nobody's going to expect him in the ditch, right? Because he's just gone right in the ditch. These are fighting each other on the brow of the hill, and he's got himself tucked in there. Could collect themselves a second place here, Navi, or maybe even go one stronger.
More importantly, Recurrent can give him the information of where players will be pushing on him. So if they decide to come down for the ditch, I mean, Recurrent can give him that info. So if they run towards him,
didn't work out though. Ooh. Close. 11 kills and counting for Team Liquid. They've been involved in so many big fights.
That tagged Rustam, man. That's done some damage. Smokes. Be prepared to see a hell of a lot of them. especially from CIS. If they want to get into the #1 position, they have to be very aware. Jempty opens up onto Rustamar. The damage was done. We saw the 40 points come through across the map.
That's a pivotal angle that Jempty's got now. He sees Recrent down low, gets a little shot down on him. Squeaky going forward as well with the Scar. And well, Mikaz, everybody opening up on him. But now we see Ibiza, look at the sweep, look at the move. Samty and Jempty, the Finnish brothers, are moving on the Finns. ENCE completely caught, so focused, lays it in on what Na'Vi are doing. They're completely unaware of the fact they've completely lost his swing. Samty makes the move, gets around the side. ENCE will be eliminated in 3rd place. And now it's Na'Vi. Recrent spotted down low. Team Liquid looking to finish the game. Sadovnik waiting for that circle, sitting in the smoke, but I don't think there's anything he can do.
Smokes are down. I mean, if he can just pull one more point out of the bag for them, a kill and a flush would be worth it, but it doesn't come through. Team Liquid